Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift. It's the end of the night shift week, and I want to welcome you to the show we call Real Talk, aka Marlon's favorite night shift show. Big ups to each and every one of you locked in right now. Welcome. Those tuning in on TuneIn Radio, the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew and all the affiliates. Those who are locked in on PEMGTV.com, and of course right here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. Glad to have you. I couldn't do it without you, and you have my word, I wouldn't even try. Kicking it off with a little Angela Hunt tonight. It's called Mon Bon Ami. I want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this first segment of the show. When being in the moment is priceless, give them a call. What can they do for you? Everything you see here on kevinstew.com. They can create a website for you. They can host your website if you already have one. They can provide you with streaming services. If you want to do more than just stream an event, and you want a whole channel, they can give you that too. Give them a call, 754-999-6020, or visit them at pulsemg.com. I want to say big ups to Althea SU. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you with her healing heavenly hands. Operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach County. She comes to you with table and oil, and of course her healing heavenly hands. Just give her a call, 954-655-9000, or email her at thealita@att.net. The third segment is covered by Reggae Global Entertainment. They're booking agents. They take care of your copyright needs, your publishings, your legal contracts, your trademarks, and so much more. Call them at 954-998-8034. And GMAT Music Solutions. They usually cover our musical therapy segments, providing sound, light and stage production services, musical equipment, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, bringing your event to life. Call them up 754-307-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622. You can visit them online at GMAC Music Solutions and do your online shopping right there also. Talk about your one-stop shop. The sound of Angela Hunt. Mon bon ami. I love what I soca junkie. The music does make him want me. So last week, if you were tuned in, then you would have been right there with the extension. I have no qualms about calling them an extension to my family, because we got to spend a whole weekend together and seal the deal where these are family. You know, we ate together, we laughed together, we talked, we just had a great time. And last week they gave us a lesson in lifestyles, and tonight they continue with giving us a lesson in lifestyles. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even going to bring them up individually. I bring them up as a group. You'll see them all around me. I present to you the crew. I can only call them the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Roy. You see Roy right here. You see James over here, over there. Oh, over there. Yeah. That's James over there. And then you have Kat over there. Okay, that covers everybody. That's Roy, James, and Kat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, guys. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, why are you guys... Okay, there we go. Okay, now everybody can hear you clearly.
Better?
Oh, much better. Yeah, I fixed it. It was on my side.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, I was hearing you, but nobody else was.
Okay.
So. Roy, James, Kat, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. How are you doing tonight?
Listen, I've been nursing this headache for a few days now. I don't even know what it is. And if it would come full blown, it would be good. But it just lingers. You know, it's just one of them annoying little headaches. But what's really funny about it is I start doing the show and it's like it goes away. I get done with the show and it comes back. Ridiculous.
I can totally understand. You get in the zone, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's probably a sign that I need to do the show 24/7.
Right? Yeah, man.
Your own personal medicine.
It is therapy for me though. I'll say that without any reservation at all. The show is my therapy. So it's not just the musical therapy that I do in the last half an hour or so, give or take, but it's the entire thing. And once again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to chat with us and to bring us into your lives and share your lives with us. And it has been a real journey. And I truly appreciate love you guys letting me be a part of the journey.
Of course.
Now, tonight, specifically, we are looking at Greetings 1101. We're looking at polyamory. This is an area that I've touched on before. I've done a show on this before. I've talked about alternate, quote unquote, alternate lifestyles before. So it's not something new. What is new is that I don't just have one person on the other line or have information that I'm presenting. I have a family. A family that is living the experience. So it's not anybody just saying, well, my one experience is this. No, you get in all kinds of views from right here. Now, what is polyamory for you guys? How would you guys define it?
So, when it comes to polyamory, you want to make sure that you don't confuse it with polygamy, which is when there's a head husband who has a set of sister wives to each other. That's not in the realm of what polyamory is, because that's a very one-sided relationship. Polyamory has many sides to it.
Right.
So when you're talking about polyamory as a whole, it's pretty much the ability to have multiple intimate relationships with a lot of people, whether it be platonic or actually sexually intimate, because there's a lot of ways to have relationships with people within this community.
Right. Roy, the way that just now, where you said where you have an intimate relationship with someone, and then you went further and said it could be sexual. That right there is what I would call a big deal. And here's why. Because in that alone, you express that being intimate and being sexual are two completely different things.
They definitely are.
And there are a lot of people that look at that hear polyamory, and the first thought is, oh, that group over there that just having the big orgy.
Not as easy as people think. It's not that. It's not that.
No, but Kat, I'm sure you've heard that.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
That's the first thing people think, actually. They don't even, they don't even ask about the kind of relationship. They just assume that you're having an orgy every night. That's the first question. Oh my God, it must be great to have an orgy every night. And I'm like, it's a lot more complicated than you think.
You see, when I hear people say it, I'm like, wait, where did you get that from? And they're like, well, isn't that what it's all about? Isn't it just about being able to have sex with a bunch of people? And I'm saying, wait a minute. Aren't you mixing that up with just something like swinging or plain and simple,
Well,
an orgy?
there's like a key difference when you hear somebody talking about it. There's like key words. If you hear open relationship,
Right.
that's completely different. That means that there's an agreement where certain boundaries that would be there are no longer there. Every relationship is different.
Yeah.
But polyamory is more like you're opening your relationship to another person. So when you're open, you might have a fling here and there, but you know who you go home to at the end of the night. When you're doing something along the lines of what we're doing,
Yeah.
it's more about we talk bills together, we talk finances together, everything is intertwined. It's not just, oh, you're a toy over there. It's definitely not that. Cat has, a great impact on the relationship itself. If you could say it's cut evenly in three ways.
But then you have people that say that is not possible. You only love one person at a time. This whole polyamory thing is just an excuse to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
If they knew how hard it was to pick a restaurant, they would not say it's having your cake and eating. Yeah. Between two people, why does he know? No.
A restaurant, no cat. A restaurant?
Yeah, picking restaurants is hard. I mean, when it comes to a regular two-person relationship, one person doesn't want to eat this, the other one doesn't want to eat that. Now you have three people who have three different ideas. Nobody wants to eat anything, and you end up at home hungry.
Why is James in the background? What was James doing?
Contemplating why that was so true.
Yeah, but it's true. But even with when you have your traditional mono relationships, you there's you have that. So I guess when you add other parts to the whole thing, then it's something else. Now, most of the poly relationships that I have come across, it is two individuals being you have a couple, whether they live together or they identify as this is the couple, but you might have one or both of them having other relationships, and the couple is aware of that and they're okay with it. And that is where most people get the whole concept of having your cake and eating it too, I guess. That's where that concept comes from, because there are a bunch of people that most of them it's what they see is a quote unquote normal couple that has outside relationships. Your case is a little bit different.
Yeah,
You
'cause I
are
wouldn't.
all under the same roof.
Yeah. Are you gonna talk to me?
So when you're living with everyone under the same roof, it's a little more complicated, but there's actually a lot of polyamorous families that actually do that.
Right.
So it's not different in any way most of the time. A lot of them raise their kids together. They do everything together. So it's just another extended family. There's I don't explain it completely coherently, but it's never just about one side having a relationship or the other side having relationships, and that extending beyond the main core of the relationship pattern. Like, because there's relationships where there's a core, which is the couple, that is the two people, and they are they're kind of the top of the relationship, if you want to say it like that, if you're looking at it as a pyramid.
Right.
And then under that, you have the relationships between one of them, and under that, you have the relationship between the other one. And that's a much more expansive type of polyamorous relationships, which some people do pursue, but more often than not, you see more exclusive couples. Actually, now I've seen a lot more exclusive couples where it's like 3 people or 4 or 5 people that are just exclusive to each other. They're not trying to expand any further. They're happy where they are.
Right.
It's not a matter of how many people you can have sex with. It's more about
how many people can you have a real relationship
Yeah,
with?
like it's having a different relationship, and you might, and Kat likes to say this, and it's very true. You don't love everybody the same way. So there's different types of love. Everybody's unique. So Kat can't love me the same way she loves James, because we're completely different
Right.
people.
Right. And I guess that's the other part of it that confuses people. Here's a question, one question in the stew pot, and those listening in, the stew pot is available. You can jump into the stew pot and interact with us. It's what others call a chat room. We're very fancy over here. We call it the stew pot, and the phone line is also available. 773-789 stew 773-789-7839. You can call. You can text, and Skype is also available. You can hit me up on Skype, Kevin.stew. But jump into the stew pot. That's where we all are. The water is fine. Come on, it's where we keep things bubbling. All right. So first question in the pot: what is a complicated part of the relationship?
um,
Apart from choosing the restaurant.
complication. Well, if you think about choosing a restaurant, that's basically having an opinion, and in reality, the three of us are ironically polar opposites from each other in every which way form.
Wait, hold up. The three of you are
Yeah,
opposites.
are complete opposite.
So I can't even figure out what shape that would be.
I would a very big triangle.
It's like water and like a little bit of citric acid. Just nothing's adding up.
Yeah, we're like completely different, and we all have different opinions, so
Right.
that can be a little overwhelming sometimes. Sometimes the simplest of tasks does require us to kind of get together, especially if it's an important decision. We like to
Mm-hmm.
get everybody's opinion, and we try to, like any other relationship, you try to compromise. Can you
Right.
imagine how compromise one third
Yeah, 1/3.
1/3 of the way instead of half the way? So
Yeah,
it
that's
can get pretty, you know it can just cause, it's a lot of tension. So the best way to really remedy that is communication. But if you thought you had to communicate in a monogamous relationship, you got to communicate just as much with a polyamorous relationship, and maybe you might need to repeat yourself a few times because there's more than one of you.
well.
So
Then that's not just as much. That sounds like a little bit more.
that's 3 times as much, depending on how many you have in your relationship.
Right.
Because polyamory isn't just 3. For some people, it can mean 6, it can mean 8, it can mean 12 if they want it.
Yeah, it depends on. It's really like every relationship is its own thing. You
Right.
you kind of, how like we mentioned last time, you always want to ask a person's pronouns if you're not sure.
Right.
It's the same thing. You want to ask the questions, or if you're curious, you're not going to be able to put two and two together and they're identical.
Right.
They're always going to be slightly different.
Let's back up a little bit and see if we can find where all this started. How did you each end up being poly? Was it something that you always grew up with and just knew? Was it something that, as adults, you decided, you know what, you know, there is something that is missing. I feel the need to add something. Did it just happen? How did you get
So
to that point?
it's kind of funny how it happened, because a lot of it wasn't planned. Um, it's not like, we're like, oh, we're gonna go have a third. You
Mm,
know, so first, me and James were together, and in fact, we're married.
right.
We've been together for about 6 years. In fact, we were together before we transitioned, so that's quite some time, right?
Mm,
And throughout those 6 years, we learned a lot about each other and about our relationship, and so we decided that we wanted to be polyamorous, and it did take learning. It wasn't like we knew exactly how to be polyamorous. There's no guidebook,
mm,
so it's a lot of trial and error. So we did make a lot of mistakes at the beginning, maybe allowing certain people into our lives that may have taken advantage of us, didn't have that kind of ideal mentality when they came in, and it was, the communication was not up to par, basically.
mm,
So there was a lot of loose strings, and then after learning a lot about our relationship even further, we were able to improve our polyamorous, how do I say this, not searches, but like, you kind of just evolve. Does that make any sense? You just kind of
Well,
evolve.
you know,
And then so then once me and James started to pursue a polyamorous life, basically, we were more on the open side. We didn't want to include anybody into our relationship. So that was for the first few years, way before we met Kat. And then
mm,
it's funny because when we met Kat, it was supposed to be a one-time thing, and it just we clicked so well that they just started to, stick around our lives further. So to the point where I told her, "Hey, do you just want to be our boyfriend? Is that something you're down for? You've been with us intimately already. Do you want to pursue something further and make it more serious and maybe move in?" And
right.
so that within itself, we decided that we were going to be exclusive to each other.
Mm.
That is when me and James were like, okay, we're going to settle down and we're going to pursue something further than just, a fling.
So,
And in fact, yes.
okay. So, you and James actually went out to meet someone with the
Yeah.
intent of meeting someone.
Well, we were just we were really we how do I say this? I don't want to just sound
There
raunchy.
wasn't really an intent to meet someone. It was more the intent of sating a need for the evening. If you
Okay.
get my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and in
You know,
that
listen. All right. I'm going to pause you right there just for a
put a
moment. And hold on to that thought right there.
yeah.
Let me say this. When a normal, quote unquote, because most people know of monogamous relationships.
Mhm.
So when that man or that woman go out and they meet someone, a lot of the times they're not going out to meet a partner. They're going out to meet someone to meet a need or
Mhm.
a desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
When you put it that way.
yeah, most of the times, in my experience, most of the times when people meet for the first time, it is hot and heavy. So there comes the passion, and it's all about sex and intimacy on that level, and it grows into another type of intimacy. Now,
Yeah, it becomes personal.
right now, when then you have other people who are friends, and their relationships develop to something else. Like you and James, Roy, you were friends from you were young, and you grew to love each other in another way,
Mm-hmm.
and then there came Cat. So y'all went out, and it's fine to call it as it is, as it was. It was going out to have, whether it be a fling or whatever, but it was something that you two decided to go out and do together.
Exactly.
And you met Kat.
Yeah, which that was a whole thing in itself.
Okay, so now you can pick up where you left off.
So basically, it was supposed to be something for the evening, and there was just when you have a connection with someone and you feel it to the core of your person, you can't let that person go for any reason.
Mm, yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but it was like the same time that Roy and I kind of rekindled and understood each other. We just saw this person in Cat that we could not keep around us because that was just an aura we couldn't help but have all the time. And
Mm.
it was just so easy and such a swift transition into that, pun intended. But um it was like clockwork, man. Like it just happened so naturally on its own. It was like it was, I don't want to say it was meant to be, but it definitely steered in the way of fate considering.
Well, it's fine to say that was meant to be. For some people, it's just meant to be. And that's just how it is. Kat,
Hmm.
when you met James and Roy, first thought. If you can
First
remember.
thought,
Uh, was
my
it was
first
it
thought
was it a
was,
I'm gonna get some tonight, or was it these? They're
um,
cool.
my first thought was actually it was a scene from Mulan that popped into my head, which was when it's literally at the end of the movie when why can I not remember his name right now? The guy,
Ask James. James got to know.
the guy,
The main character,
no, the guy,
Jim Wood.
yeah.
I think his name is Shen.
Okay, I think it's Shen. When
Mm-hmm.
Shen comes over to Mulan's house at the end, and the mother goes, "Would you like to stay for dinner?" And the grandmother pipes up in the background, "Would you like to stay forever?" That is what came to my head the first time I saw them.
Really?
What ended up happening was, James asking if I wanted to stay the night, Roy asking if I wanted to stay forever. So,
Wow.
and for me, the idea of it wasn't so far off. I mean, it's something I've experienced before in my past life where I actually met myself at a crossroads where I felt something for one person
Mm-hmm.
and another, and they felt the same, all three parts of the triangle, where it was a person stuck between two people, and it happened to be all three of us stuck with each other, and we're like, well, I guess we can make this work, right? Is there a
Mm.
law against this? Is there something against this? We can make this work, right? Something can make this work. And that was my first, go at a triad. It was, all right, let's try to make this work. And it did for its course, but now it's where it is. And it is, like Roy just said, it's a learning process.
Now, okay, so were any of you at any point in your life exposed to polyamory before
Yeah.
before before engaging in it? Were you
Yeah,
exposed to it?
I had been exposed to it for a long time. I was polyamorous since I was 16 years old.
Saying before you see.
And even before that, I was continuously exposed to it. It wasn't people from my family, but it was people connected to friends of mine. Even when I was super young, people were like, "Oh my God, have you seen my boyfriend and my girlfriend?" And I'm just here like, "Wow, that sounds lit. Let me get some of that."
But how did you know that you were polyamorous, though?
When you experience having a relationship with someone and you come to this understanding that you probably have more love to give than just for this one someone, you might be polyamorous.
So,
We're not talking going behind somebody's back
yeah.
and trying to find another.
Mm.
That's not what we're trying.
You felt a connection with
It's-
one and you want to feel another connection with someone like that.
It's where you feel the same warmth in love
Mm-hmm.
with more than one person, not the same warmth in lust with one person.
Mm.
It's when you, like Roy said before, when my favorite line is, I love them both, but I love them differently. Because you
Right.
can never love two people the exact same. You love them for different reasons. You
Mm.
love them in different ways. And for us, it's a general love that is, we want to be in a relationship. And it's a love that I want to continue to prosper with them. And I don't want to see myself achieving my goals in life without them by my side.
You see, that right there is what you typically hear your monogamous couple saying about one about the other. I don't want to. I can't. Not that I can't see myself without them, but I don't want to ever have to have that experience of them not being there supporting me along the way, whether it is physically there or emotionally there, just them being a part of me because I feel that they are a part of me. And there's a question in the pot, if you don't mind sharing. How does the intimacy of sexual interactions work between the three of you?
Um,
Sorry, the intimacy and sexual interactions. That's what it says.
so I guess I can share for that one.
You can all share for that one. Take turns if you want.
Sounds like an intimate night.
For me, and it, I guess, intimacy wise, each person does something differently. Everyone has relations differently. Everyone does things differently. Everyone gets under your skin in a different way.
Right.
So what one person does will feel great, and if another person tries to do that, it's not always the same, but it's much appreciated. It's always different.
Yeah, that's
I
not
guess
your thing. That's not your thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a new experience with each person. Some people do this one thing right, one person does the other thing right.
Right.
When of figuring out, I guess most people assume it's a threesome every night. No, it's not.
Not every night.
Not every night. One night it's I've been working all day, don't touch me, let me sleep, and someone else is up.
Mm-hmm.
Other nights it's it'll trade off from twos and twos and twos, and then a three maybe on a Friday or a Wednesday. You never know.
Right.
The quarantine's been forgiving.
Yeah, the quarantine's been forgiving. We've been home, so it's great. But you just have to, like a regular relationship, you don't do it every day, and
Right.
people, it's so easy to schedule threesomes. It's not.
You have to find your rhythm.
Yeah, you find a rhythm and as you go, and
Yeah, after the first 3 weeks of us.
After the first 3 weeks of us nonstop, we kind of burned out a little bit. Like we really burnt out the first 3 weeks.
Like, okay, well, yeah, we've been there, done that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can sell a T-shirt.
Now it's more like, okay, so how can we spice it up? Like cream and strawberries.
Yeah, 'cause, again, most people when they think of anything outside of a monogamous relationship, they always just go to sex. It's all about sex, but it isn't. And you have been alluding to that in various forms all evening thus far. Another question in the pot: what advice would you give for someone? Would you have for someone who is being introduced to polyamory for the first time?
So yeah, do your research first, because the first way to get hurt is to not know what you're getting yourself into, and not being okay with something that was agreed upon, and that just leads to a lot of resentment, and it's just not good. So yeah, and then everything is communication, because you need to first communicate what you're expecting in this relationship. It's more like what do you need from this relationship? What do you want? What can we not do? It's like boundaries. You just have to make sure you understand. And when you do, and at the beginning it is hard, because it's natural to sometimes feel jealous. It's natural to be that way. So you need to understand that these are feelings you're witnessing. These feelings are not you. So you need to communicate when you do feel that way, so that it can get assessed and you can get reaffirmed. Affirmations help. Everybody's different. Some people get more jealous than others. I think it's possible for everybody, as long as you're communicating, you're willing, because you really need to be willing, because once you're not willing, and you're not enjoying yourself, and you're not loving that relationship, what's the point of doing it at all? So you need to make sure this is what you want, and that you need to, first of all, everybody in the position of that relationship needs to put in their 100%.
Right.
Because it's the same as another relationship, as a regular relationship with one-on-one. You have to put in the effort. And I think polyamorous relationships need more effort when it comes to certain things. So if you're not willing to put in that extra effort, don't
It's probably not for you.
It's probably not for you. Don't complicate it. But when you really find somebody that you really want to connect with,
Hmm.
and that everybody connects, everybody within that relationship wants the same thing, I mean, shit, try it, because I can tell you, me and James have both learned from Kat, and I'm sure Kat has learned from us. And it's different experiences you're throwing into your relationship.
Now, when it comes to jealousy, because of course I've done a show on that. One of the things that I have found with jealousy is that it is a question of self. It's that you often find yourself jealous when you are questioning your own worth in some way, shape, or form. And in looking at jealousy, what I have come to realize is if you ask yourself certain questions, then the likelihood of being jealous is reduced. But because we are conditioned in certain ways, then that makes jealousy seem real easy and real natural. Now, was there jealousy in your relationship when it got started? And is there
There's
jealousy now?
there's always going to be a sense of jealousy in certain things. It's normal. Jealousy is a very human emotion.
Mm,
When we first started, there were there were moments where we had to fix certain things. We had to relearn to re-love. You know, focus on. I hate to say it. It's kind of like when you're handing out cookies at a class party,
mm,
and you have to make sure everyone has the same amount.
right.
You have to make sure everyone has the same amount of love. Even if it's different, you have to make sure everyone's loved and accounted for. You have to make sure, you know, everyone is getting what they need out of the relationship.
Mm,
And jealousy can build in ugly places when you're not talking, when you're not communicating that you need a little extra attention, you need a little give and take here and there. And that's honestly where jealousy in any really relationship will come
right.
out of. Yeah,
So,
you feel insecure about something, whether did I get enough hugs today? Did I get, did I get enough text messages? Whatever it may be.
right.
Did you love me enough today?
Yeah, 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 really. And yeah, that's what it boils down to. Because depending on an individual's love language, did I get enough of that? Whether it is those words of affirmation or that gift or that touch, whatever that love language is that you subscribe to, when you get your portion of that, then you feel loved, and the probability of feeling jealous is reduced.
Hmm.
Now, so you're saying that, yeah, you guys experience it also. So, yet
Yeah.
again, there is another similarity with monogamous relationships. Single people always say, couples, they always think, boy, when I get my girlfriend, when I get my boyfriend, it will be sex every night and 3 times on the weekends.
Yeah, no.
And the first week, they find out that they didn't make every night. And they think, boy, I wonder if something is wrong with me. And then the weekend came and it only happened once, if it happened at all. And they're like, whoa, did I have it right when I was signing up for this? Is this what I signed up for? And it becomes its own thing for each couple. In and likewise, as you are bringing to the fore, people think that when you're polyamorous, it's orgy all the time. Clearly, you have pointed out that that is not the case.
Mhm.
So, all those who are looking forward to being polyamorous, here's your dagger to the heart. Sorry to disappoint you. It's not the case.
Open.
Yeah.
You can be open as long as
You can be a swinger. You can be in an open relationship.
as long as you're safe about it. I mean, it's all about what you're okay with and what the other person's okay with. Because if you guys are okay with it, I mean, you're not hurting anybody. So nobody can really
Right.
tell you.
In that case, no.
Yeah. Then unless you are hurting somebody, then stop it. Sit down.
Reassess yourself.
Drink a bottle of water.
But being polyamorous and swinging aren't quite the same thing.
No.
No, when you're swinging, you're having a moment of intimacy for that time, that moment in time.
A moment of
And
sexual gratification.
exactly, you're hooking up, or you can hook up many times. It's cool, but the main difference is that there's that boundary that that's their life. They got their own thing going on, and we got our own thing going on, and then we occasionally hit it off. But
Right.
you know, some polyamory relationships are like that, and then you see us where we just we share everything together. From vacations, we try to do everything together like a family. That's basically what we want to achieve. To
Right.
be a family.
Right. And it's we know it's not all of you that like roller coasters or can do roller coasters, but it doesn't stop y'all from going to a theme park.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, you calling me out?
I called no names.
Proud to hold Kat's purse at the bottom while she goes rides the roller coaster. I am totally down. I'll be the one taking the pictures and staying down with the kids. I'll be that husband. I'll get the snacks and then I'll have the beer. I'm
Right.
so down.
Right.
Position.
And but it works for you guys. That is, and this is one of the things when you talk about talking it out and figuring out what works for whom and with whom. You know, this is one of those things as simple as going to a theme park. How it is that we're going to have fun. Are we all going to do this kind of a ride, whether it is a virtual ride, or do we all do the thrill rides and the roller coaster? Do we do the exhibits or the shows? Do we all do even working out those things is the same thing that your traditional family would do. And I use traditional loosely because in some cultures, your family is a traditional family.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I mean,
on the Western side, it's not quite like that.
if you go back to, I guess you can say, a biblical era, there was there was a lot of polygamy. There was lots of polyamory. One of the main things that people forget about is midwives were a thing. If it was a wife couldn't produce, there was another one that could, or there was one that would help with everything. The cooking, the cleaning, the loving, the everything.
I mean, we all have our own place here
Yeah.
in the house.
Even like us as our relationship, we have our room of the house that we tend to be in the most because that's just a skill set we do as our part in our relationship.
I do the yard.
I do the kitchen. And
Kat, James does everything else, the animals. We all have kind of our own routine. Get in a routine, your routine. Make sure everybody is happy with their routine. Make sure everybody's not being stepped over or overlooked, because it's easy to
assume.
It's easy to just overlook and be all about me, and it's hard, because that's as my hands are ready.
Wash your hands.
Okay. It's easy to forget that there's others around you and that they also have needs. Sometimes you're always thinking about yourself, and you gotta step out of that mentality and just, you gotta put out what you want. You gotta put the effort. You gotta put out, if you want to get what
you gotta put out what you want to receive.
Exactly. You want to give what you want to get.
Right. No, I
that's
get
just,
it. I
just
get
how
it.
it is.
you know, when it comes to taking care of the household, as in financially, Roy and James, you've done the couple thing,
Mm-hmm.
and here now comes Kat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that taking care of the home is easier with the larger family?
Financially speaking.
Imagine this.
Financially, yes.
Imagine this. Imagine you had the ability to have one extra income in this economy. Would you not take it?
Well, I guess that breaks it down as simply as you can.
Yeah, it's a joke between the polyamory community where everyone's like, monogamy in this economy?
Who does that?
Exactly. I want to be able to afford my house.
Yeah, what? I don't want to suffer.
Now, so financially, then something like polyamory is a benefit
If everybody's on the same page, yes. Yes.
if everybody's on the same page.
Yes, like we split bills down the middle. We also live with a family member of mine, so it's split 4 ways.
Mm,
Even across the board. Um, we just because we have that extra cash, we try not to like just splurge.
right.
So that's how we were able to save up for our vacation. We were able to have a nice family vacation in New York last year.
Shopping
Mm.
addiction.
And Kat's like, we can support her shopping addiction, but
Oh, so you're all enablers now.
I think we hate each other in our own quirky way.
Yeah, we get to take care of James's anime and Cat's shopping. So, what's it for you, Roy?
Yeah, I just like to be head pats and food. Just
Right.
cook
So
for me.
it's your
I'll provide
pets.
the food. Just make me a nice meal. Like I'll provide all the ingredients. Just cook for me.
Right. Now, when it comes to family, when you guys decided to do the poly relationship, how did your family receive that? And friends. Let's not leave out the friends. How did the friends receive that too also?
I mean, it's the same. It's the same. You have some friends that like your significant other, and you have some friends that don't like your significant other, and you just
Yeah.
take it as it is. If they're not willing to, you know, overlook that, then anybody that's going to bring negativity to your life, I would not keep around. If they're really your friend, and obviously if that person's a good person, and they're not, asshole,
Right.
and it's just something stupid, then I mean, y'all need to sit down and talk it out, and see where really that issue relies. But other than that, usually it's kind of like a party, the three of us are already here, so it's already a party. So
Right.
anybody else, it's more of a party. And family, at least I can say for my family, I think my family took it way better than everything else, because when I
Really?
first came out as gay, it was a traumatic moment. When I came out as trans, that was another freaking moment. And then here I come, and I say, "Here's my other boyfriend."
Mm.
After getting married, and they're like, "You know what? Great." Really, the words that were said, "Wow, you have dick. That's great." that's all I've ever wanted, and I'm like, great, we're all on the same page. So they see Kat, and they just kind of have learned to live with it because they see Kat cook. Kat helps me clean, so they're just like, okay.
I remember the birthdays.
It's not that bad. You guys
Wow.
just won't blow me, and I'm just like, you know what, this is great.
I mean, my family was.
Oh, you can tell them that.
I mean, personally, for me, with my family was a wee bit different. We hit it for the first week or so. The boys did come over for Christmas and spent the holidays with us. And then I believe a week and a half later, my mom picks me up from work. We get to the house and she puts her bag down. And before I'm even allowed to put my purse on the counter, she goes, "I have one question." And if you know my mother, if she has a question, she already knows the answer. She's seeing if you're lying. And I
Right.
didn't even say the question. I was like, yes, I'm with the boys. Yes, this is a one-way relationship. She goes, okay, so I'm not crazy. All right, cool. Wear a condom. Be happy.
Mm.
She knew. She should have known, because we were already sleeping in their room. I mean, we spent Christmas, together in their room, and they have one bed. So if it wasn't obvious by the fact that we were all sleeping in one full-size bed, I
Mm.
mean, we had to be touching. We're not gonna fit otherwise. The only way to fit on that bed is to spoon. So, so they kind of knew. They didn't say anything because we were new. We were just friends in their eyes, and
Right.
then they liked us. They actually enjoyed our company. We went fishing together. Without Cat, just to say that. They were like, I don't care about your relationship. If we like you guys. We want to be your friend. So, and then that day when they just found out, they already knew. It was just great. It was great.
Another
And my
question. Okay, go
Mhm.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so there's another question in the pot.
Oh, go.
So the question is, um, how do you avoid not gravitating to one versus keeping it even between everyone?
Family meetings,
Family meetings.
checking in, and if you feel like it's uneven, say it's uneven. You bring it up. We're not gonna lie. We've had those
Mm,
situations. We've
yeah.
had times like that. You have to stop and say, hey, it's a little one-sided. Can we fix that?
Well, typically it gets one-sided when if you think about it, it's when somebody's doing something that the other doesn't like. Typically, that's usually the case. So, and I mean, we all are human, so we all came into this relationship with toxic habits and toxic behaviors. I mean, everybody's like that. Basically, life is sorting all your unsorted shit and dilemmas,
Mm,
and just learning to not be a toxic person in your relationship. So yeah, there were moments where we had to call each other out and say, hey, you're doing this that's hurting me, and it's making me feel this kind of way.
mm,
So you bring that up, and then usually when you say from the get-go what you're feeling, you don't get to that point. So it's usually when you start holding it in, and then you start internalizing shit, and then you start to maybe rely on the other for comfort for what the other's doing. And there's so many scenarios where it can happen. You just need to talk about it and
right.
remember the goal of why we're doing this to begin with. This is for the three of us to be happy. So if one of us is not happy, we say, okay, well, is it something that we did? Is this something that is it in our control? If it's in our control, then we would like to fix that, either that habit that you're not liking, or maybe it's something that a behavior. I mean, there's just so many ways.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You just got to talk about it, and don't let it ferment and let it affect your relationship. It's the same thing with the monogamous one. If you don't talk about it, I mean, if you're not talking to your significant other about your issues, about how you're feeling, but you're talking to somebody outside of your relationship about it. I mean, unless it's an unsafe relationship, that's a completely different story. I'm just talking about an actual, like, a regular relationship. Talk
Yeah.
about it. Don't go outside. Why go tell some other person that probably does not have your best interest in mind, when you could have just brought it from the beginning, nipped it in the butt, and it could have totally not been. It could have been. It probably was something that you over exaggerated, or
Mm.
you didn't, because you didn't bring it up from the get go.
You assumed.
You assumed, yeah, and assuming is the worst thing you can do.
Right.
So yeah, it,
So
avoid getting there.
that is, I think, relationship 101 advice. I think that's a kind of relationship that therapists give in couples therapy. That you should communicate, communicate, communicate.
Well, me and James have had therapy together a long time ago. We, from when we were early on, not early on, I would say after a good 2 years, we decided, hey, maybe we should go to therapy, because we're getting in each other's faces. Things are not, we're fighting more often. Maybe we need to go talk about it.
We're forgetting why we love each other.
Yeah, so, and that
Mm.
happens. I mean, fallouts. I'm not gonna say it's all great and dandy. You have
Right.
your issues, and again, it comes from unhealthy behaviors. So Are you willing to sit down, buckle up and help each other heal? If you answer yes, then go ahead. If not, then you need to move on. I mean, find somebody worth it for you to sit down and buckle up, because everybody got issues. You're not gonna find, a saint. It's not gonna happen.
So, having gone to therapy, and couples therapy, to be specific, do you believe that we are not really taught how to relate? That
What do you mean?
we're misguided in how we're conditioned to relate to each other. That Disney movies and the story of the happily ever after have gotten it all twisted, where and cowboy movies of old, where the hero rides off into the sunset with the damsel in distress that he rescued. That
Listen, you ride off into the sunset with a damsel, but the minute she starts nagging you, apparently you had no idea who this person was.
So on the way to riding off, you just toss her off the horse.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm not gonna keep riding with this nagger on me. Oh man, it's. I think that in society, naturally, we don't talk to each other anymore. I
Mm,
think that happened over the evolution of time, because in the beginning there was nothing but talking to each other. How are you going to communicate with that other person? How are you going to say, "Give me that rock," you know?
right.
But in time, we learned how to stop being sociable creatures, and because of that, we've lost our ability to socialize in general.
Mm,
We let our ego get in the way, and that's become the biggest problem as we've gotten further in technology. Everybody's developed this, electronic ego. I don't have to talk to someone face to face. I can call them. I don't have to tell someone my thoughts. I could text them. I can do all these
right.
things to avoid having to physically go and deal with my problem. And that's what causes all these other terrible issues, because if you can't face a problem with your partner the second it happens, or even cool down when it's happening and come back to it later, how are you going to solve it? You're going to fester on it for years and see what happens. You got to always remember, it's not you versus each other, it's you, your partners versus the problem.
Mm. And that's the case with whether you're monogamous or polyamorous. It's pretty much the same across the board.
Exactly, and that's the biggest thing to remember.
So I don't think that I've heard anything different or very different from what you would normally hear with a monogamous relationship, with how you guys relate to each other.
And that's the shocking part that most people don't understand. It's not about being different. If we are almost entirely the same, I just have more than one person here.
That you love, and
Exactly.
that the other person is aware that someone else loves you.
Exactly. And even in some cases, that other person is in love with the other person as well.
Right. It's not always the case, because you have
It's not
metamors
always.
that
I
don't
will
know
tell you.
each other
Exactly.
or
But it,
choose not to know each other.
exactly. Most of the time, if that's the case, they'll know about each other. But of
Right.
course, they interact civilly. They're not going to be hostile towards each other and then put the person in the middle in jeopardy. They know better.
Well, ultimately, if everybody loves, then there shouldn't be that issue,
Exactly.
because no, you're saying it in the case where you have metamors, and for those who don't know, a metamor is the partner of your partner.
You got
So
all the words, man.
hey, I told you I've done this before.
A lot of research. I love that, man.
I've done a show on this before, and I've researched this in ways you couldn't imagine. It's just that this particular type of interaction on this show is a first for me, and it helps to raise an awareness to it.
Hmm.
and to destroy some of the myths about it. And so, so here it is. If you have your metamors
Hmm.
and you're saying that there shouldn't really be any reason for them to be clashing because they both have the same common interest. And if the
Well,
relationship is true,
yeah,
then the person who is in this case in the middle should have their interest should be that person's best interest also.
exactly.
But by extension, they should be concerned about each other.
Exactly.
You know, I heard someone talking about polyamory, and she said, for the life of me, I can't remember her name. No, she's an author, and I do believe she's a therapist also. But she said, in addressing metamors, think about this. Your partner is homesick, and you have to be at work, but there is someone else that loves your partner as much that could go and see to their needs at that time. Why not give them a call and have them go over and take care of them? And then wouldn't you be more at ease to know that someone who loves your partner as much is there taking care of them? And I was
It's funny
like,
you
wow.
actually happened.
That you said that actually happened?
Yeah, that has happened to us before. And
Hmm.
it's funny that people think that there's no way in hell you'd ever want another human being around the one that you love, but it's silly to think that, considering if you were in a monogamous relationship, wouldn't you call up their sister or something to go take care of them, their family members, someone you know that will take good care of them? Why not someone that you also love that could take care of them just as good as you would? Someone you know that will intimately understand what they need when they're in pain or having a struggle. Sometimes you don't have family to fall back on, so that's a perfect
Right,
time to have
right.
a partner that really cares about you.
Mm. There's another
Man, that
question.
happens all the time.
Sorry, what was that?
That happens all the time. I've had about two or three instances where that happened between Roy and I way back when we had one of our first ever partners where we were polyamorous, like just beginning.
Yeah.
And Roy had to go to the emergency room because of acute kidney failure. And
Mm.
I unfortunately had to go to work. This was at like 7 in the morning, man. You had to think fast and get it going. So our partner at the time took Roy to the emergency room, got him all cleaned up, get him ready to go. And I was working up until 4 o'clock.
Right.
So, it's about a give and take. We even had to do it with surgery before, where I had to trade off on a time and Kat had to trade off on the extended time so that we can help as much as we possibly could. We were 24-hour nurses. You can't do that with just one person, man.
Right, right. So the village concept of the family applies.
It definitely takes a village, my friend.
Another question in the pot. Was there a time when either of you kept something from the other because you don't think the other can handle or deal with it? And if so, what was the resolution?
Um, so I mean, yeah, you might certain topics might be easier to talk about with a different person. I mean, I find certain topics easier to talk with James than I find other topics easier to talk about with Kat.
Yeah.
And maybe I might need to say, "Hey, James, I really want to bring this up to Kat. Help me find a way to say it in a non-attacking way. Maybe it's something that
Mm.
I didn't like. I need you to, am I okay for feeling this way? Maybe it's something I need to work on myself. I want, I like to get some perspective from the other person."
Right.
Or I might need to ask Kat, hey, I don't know how to say this to James. How would you say it? Like, let's go back and forth. Help me out with this. So we just kind of work together. And yeah, there's been plenty of times where we need to do that. I mean, it's not always going to be a walk in the park for anyone. So, you just got to try not to step on anybody. Yeah, lose your head or step on anybody's toes. But, keeping something infinitely, like not bringing it up at all and not talking about it, no, don't do that. We try not to do that because then that's what brings resentment. That's how you hurt people. More importantly, you're going to hurt yourself if you're keeping something, to yourself that maybe should be said.
Right. Right.
Maybe you're hindering their growth and maybe they need to hear that so that they can better themselves and maybe better the quality of their end of the stick, of their end of the relationship. So I can totally understand not telling the other person about something just because I need to get some perspective, get some air,
Right.
but not just keeping it from them indefinitely. No, not at all.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work. Yeah, and I think if I did that, which I used to have a very bad habit of doing that, I don't think I would have gotten this far with this relationship. Just
Oh,
because
okay,
I
so that was
personally,
a thing that you actually did.
yeah, as before growing up, I would
Yeah.
always keep everything to myself. Before we did couples therapy, I was in therapy
Mm.
I just happened to get a good deal with my therapist when I included James in there, and I said I would like to bring my husband in, and she was very willing, very nice lady.
Right.
But yeah, so before you decide to keep something to yourself, look within yourself and ask yourself, why are you doing this? Why would you want to do that? Maybe it's something you need to work on within yourself. Maybe not that other person. There's so many different ways to see that.
Do you guys still go to therapy?
We haven't gotten a while.
Financially, it's just not sustainable right now,
Mm.
considering everything.
Yeah.
But honestly, there's no reason not to go back. There's always a reason to go to therapy. I mean, look at every day of your life, man. There's always one thing that it's like, damn, I'm gonna have to talk about that in therapy.
Right. Would you guys, are you guys, or before you stopped going, did you start taking cat, or did you stop going before cat came into the picture?
We stopped going way before Kat came to the picture, sadly,
Ah.
because it's always good to have everyone that you're involved with in therapy with you, with
Right.
either one or another.
Mm.
Your therapist has to understand how to help you, and a way to understand how to help you, they got to know who you're around and what's around those people too.
Right. What exactly what it is that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So you're paying for nothing.
Exactly.
Mm. That right there. So again, I am not seeing a whole lot that is different in your relationship from the traditional monogamous relationship. So an individual might ask, wait a minute, if they're having the same issues that I am having and I'm in a monogamous relationship, why would I want to compound that and include someone else so that I can add another person to have issues with? That's just crazy.
Repeat it. Ask him to repeat. Um, you started. Can you repeat that? Because you kind of cut off.
Oh, okay. So I was saying, for those who are saying, I haven't heard anything that is super different from my monogamous relationship, and I thought polyamory would have been so exciting, but no, these guys are making it sound like it's one more headache to potentially deal with. Why would anybody want to do that?
Okay. Um, I think for us, you would want to do it if in your relationship you feel like there's something more that can be, something more
Mm.
you can. And for us, we realized that polyamory was a puzzle piece that helped put everything together and keep it together.
Right.
You know, it was that I think I personally, me adding myself to the boys, I give them a different type of adventure, a different push to see something at a new light. You know, we all give each other a new light, and it, you know, adding a person to your normal duo relationship where it's just the two of you, and adding a third, maybe a fourth, whatever you may feel like you need, it can bring you a new experience.
Right.
Make or break you, exactly.
Yeah.
And
But that's the kind of thing that happens when you get a new friend.
Mm-hmm.
When you get a new pet, even.
you
So-
just have to.
So
It's
there's not really anything different. There is one thing that I see that there's more of, and it seems to be the common theme throughout the night in when we look at all the different aspects of the relationship, and that is communication. You guys seem to communicate more than the average monogamous relationship.
We have to.
it has
Well,
to.
it's more parts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something, if anyone can take anything away from looking at our relationship or any polyamorous relationship, is talk to your partner more. Those insecurities where it's people will say my girlfriend, my boyfriend is jealous all the time. They're always looking at somebody else or whatever. Stop. Stop complaining to everyone. Stop fighting. Start talking. Sitting down. This is how I feel.
The saying, and closed mouths won't get fed.
Yep. Closed mouths don't get fed. You want to
Mm,
see that change, gotta say something.
that ooh, who was it that came up with that old school deep saying?
That was me, actually.
That's Pat's favorite thing.
Closed mouths don't get fed. I love that saying because it's the truth.
Well, you did grow with your grandmother, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, there you go. That right there. That right there. Yeah, that is not your average, 20-year-old saying. No, 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 no. That comes from someone with some real experience. Yeah,
Mhm.
closed mouths don't get fed.
You know,
The pro- Go ahead.
I grew up in a big city where if you didn't speak up, nothing was gonna get done for you.
Right.
You gotta say something, and that's something I feel like everyone can take away. You gotta say something.
Now, the issue with saying something sometimes is who you're saying it to. Can that
And
person receive what you're saying?
Yeah, it's more important how you're saying it.
it's who and how.
Mm,
Because you can say the same thing a million ways and get a million reactions.
right.
You gotta. I don't want to call it a game, but you need to know how to play the game. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
game of communication. Don't attack if you don't want to be attacked. And sometimes you don't realize you're attacking. And I can just say for myself, sometimes I'll be saying some things and they come off as aggressive. And just because I was raised in a loud, aggressive family, that that doesn't give me an excuse to portray that into my current relationship. That is, I
Mm,
know that's something toxic that my family has instilled in me. Getting aggressive, as in like raising my voice, very Hispanic thing.
mm.
Uh, very Cuban thing because we are very loud and
Yeah, what you got that hot blood?
yeah, exactly. So I could be talking normally on the phone and everybody can hear me. So
Right,
sometimes I don't realize that I'm being too loud and I gotta tone it down a notch because that's not how everybody else communicates.
right.
And who am I to dictate how why do I have to start off a conversation like that? Why can't I bring it up in a more toned manner, in a more level-headed manner, where I'll probably get more out of that conversation if I'm first honest,
Mm,
second bring down my pride, and that could be for anybody. Just bring down your pride and just be completely 100% throughout the conversation.
Do what we're doing now. Have a real conversation. Be really in that
Yeah,
conversation. 100%.
but even with real conversations, sometimes that truth, that being
It hurts.
real can be so,
Painful.
even when you do it with the best of intentions and the in the most loving way, it
So
can be so painful.
it
That's
is.
that's like the conversation that a doctor has with a patient. It doesn't matter which way you break it to them. If something horrible is happening, you got to be able to tell them and make them feel like they understand what's going to happen, and we can make a move together next.
At the end of the day, you could always agree to disagree,
Right.
like, because an opinion can't be changed. I mean, opinion is individualized, right?
Okay.
But if you're having a heated argument and you need to, say some truth, if it's about an opinion, I mean, that's one thing. But if it's about a behavior or something that the other person is doing to you, maybe it's an action. I mean, it's different, right?
So you're it's best to come clean with how you're feeling about
Yep.
receiving a reaction or
They'll come around once you say it as it is. Even
yes.
if they don't like it, they might need some space to kind of cool down, which has happened here. Sometimes if me and James don't agree on something, he'll go for a walk. He'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go walk the dogs real quick." He'll go and level himself out instead of, his initial reaction might be to get loud because again, that Hispanic blood.
Right,
And he'll
right.
be like, I'm gonna take a minute because I just heard something that I didn't like. It was the truth, but I didn't like it, and
Mm,
I'm in a shitty mood. So I'm not gonna take my shitty mood out on you. And he's gonna go cope with it and go walk dogs and maybe do some
right.
exercise. While Kat might want to go bake something to cope with maybe something she heard from us that, particularly she didn't like. And yeah, she has an attitude, but she's going to go take that and be productive with it. And so that when she comes back to us, it's, without, you're not spitting any venom.
Right, right, right.
So it's really coping. It's learning. And this is things you learn in therapy. You learn how to cope with things. You learn about, you learn about yourself. So you
Mm,
kind of aren't surprised anymore. When you go to therapy, there's nothing your partner can really say that you don't already know about yourself.
right.
Because
If you're being
therapist,
honest.
if you're being honest, because your therapist is going to basically be telling you straight up, you're wrong, or that's not a good thing to do. So if
Mm,
you're going to therapy to begin with, anything your partner is going to tell you, yeah, it'll hurt, but now it's a confirmation as to that shitty behavior or whatever it is you're doing.
right, right, right. In the stew pot here, I am so thankful for all of you. I'm here bawling because I envy the connection that the three of you have. When you're raised a certain way, it's difficult to adopt a new way of doing things, communicating, loving, caring, and dealing.
Yeah, it's
But
definitely new.
but those things come with learning self, don't they? Aren't these some of the
Yeah,
things that come with recognizing who you are and accepting who you are?
I think that when it comes to polyamory and stuff like that, you have to learn who you are to find out who you want around you.
Mm. But that's the same thing with a relationship anyway, in any type of relationship, isn't it?
yeah. Don't you always hear "love yourself before you can love somebody else"?
Listen, that right there, let me tell you something about that right there. The love yourself thing, people don't really get it. I will say that with no uncertain terms. I'm not talking with water in my mouth or anything like that. People just don't get it. Um, we always hear love your neighbor as you love yourself, and the emphasis is on the neighbor. But you don't know how to love yourself, so how do you love that neighbor?
That's very true.
And you're not really taught how to love yourself. the emphasis is on doing unto others as you like them to do unto you. Well, I'd like someone to bring me some food every now and then. I'd like someone to buy me nice things every now and then. Oh, wait. I need to do that to some people before some people will do that to me. But the people that can do that to me, I don't want to do that for them. I'd probably want to do it for some people who really don't want to do that for me.
Mm.
And now comes this dilemma. So who do I do it for? Just do it.
I mean, just for some insight, me and James, before we transitioned,
Yeah.
if I were to like describe the relationship we had, and mind you, I was 17 and James was 18, so we were very young and stupid.
Let's call it inexperienced.
There you go. That's a word. And we had a lot of toxic behaviors, and I mean, this was pre-transition, so off the bat, we were not happy with ourselves. Just baseline.
Right.
Imagine hating yourself.
That comes back to accepting self.
Exactly. You're hating yourself, and it's not like you're just, everybody has their own extreme of dysphoria. But when you're like that, you're not really your true self. So whoever you're with, reality doesn't know you. Imagine that. Imagine being with somebody and they just really don't know you. They know this facade you've put up of yourself. That's entrapment. That feels like you're trapped in this fake happiness that you've put up for yourself when you really aren't understood. So when we started to love ourselves and we transitioned, I feel like our relationship improved to the point where we were able to have a healthy polyamorous relationship. Because first we were happy with ourselves. We were watching ourselves grow. We were, we went from very, sedentary lifestyles to we started to work out more. We started to be more, Kat likes to say, feeling your oats. Yeah, feel your oats. It's a very New Yorker term.
What does that mean, Kat?
Kat. Feeling your oats. It's a very ballroom term for anyone who is familiar with ballroom. It's an underground scene in New York City. It just means you have to exude enough confidence that everyone around you is gonna be like, yep, that's the one. That's the one. You're confident enough that no one's questioning you.
Right.
That applauding you for how confident you're being. That's just what it is. It's that love yourself energy times like 1,000. That's what it is. And that's the only way that's gonna get you through anything.
So that's that. It's being confident, not being self-centered, not being egotistical.
Yeah. It's the best form of vanity. It's being vain without putting someone else down.
Yeah, that's a different level of confidence right there.
Because we all have our things we don't like about ourselves.
Right.
So you have to learn what you don't like about yourself and learn what you love about yourself and focus on loving those parts even more so that you can work on the parts you don't want, that you don't like.
Then you can, then it's easier to invite someone in.
Because if you don't know what you like about yourself, then how do you expect someone else to like other things, to like those things about you or anything about you? You can tell when someone doesn't love themselves. And you can tell that they're not going to. Or if they're always going to fight you on it. Your partner's supposed to be the person that brings you up and puts you on a pedestal and shows you that, sure, your pimple is here today, it's going to be gone tomorrow, you look fine, let's go, like you have to be your own cheerleader if you want a cheerleader.
It sounds like you get that a lot, Kat. You look fine.
I'm
Let's
fine.
go.
And some people think that too. Like they think about it too much. Like, oh my, what do you mean just fine? I gotta go change. Like, no, you look great. No, no. Sometimes you just no one notices. Your shoes are on backwards. Let's go. But I wore these pants 3 days this week. Nobody knows that. Shut up. Let's go. Great. You have to find the person that's willing to just be like, let's go. Let's move forward.
Right.
And in polyamory, you just get a team of that. Of the let's move forward, let's keep going, let's keep building.
You know, I'm it seems easy to envy you guys because you come with your own cheering squad.
It doesn't come without its cost.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of work.
And that's the other side of it. And but you know, the things that are worth having typically come with some work. Whether it is that monogamous relationship or that polyamorous relationship, whatever it is, that dream job, that car, that house, whatever it is that you deem worthy to have, then it comes with some work. If it's worthy to have, then you need to put in the work to have it.
Yes, and it's work on all ends of that spectrum of that relationship.
Right.
It's not person putting in 100% and the other slacking off. Everybody has to put in their own work in their own different way.
Listen, you guys did it again. You knocked it out the park. I want to thank you again. Not just for taking the time out to share with the night shift family, but to say, you know, Kevin, you can be a part of our family. Thank you. You know, because clearly I had to be a part of the family for you guys to be sharing in this kind of depth on this platform. You know, come on.
You're like a requirement, man.
Part of the package.
You know, much love, much respect, much gratitude. I truly appreciate love what you guys have done on this show for the past 2 weeks. This week we're sharing about polyamory and last week about transgender and non-binary associations, and to learn what is your pronoun. Yeah, that's gonna stick with me for a while.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted, man.
So, what do we take away from tonight? You gave us that. You guys gave us that last week. What do we get tonight? And I know that wasn't planned last week, so I guess tonight it's communicate.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Closed mouths don't get fed. That's today.
Yep. That's our you know, when I was growing up going to Sunday school, when you leave in Sunday school, you'd always have your memory verse or your memory gem. That's the memory gem for tonight's show. Closed mouths don't get fed.
And it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're opening your mouth to express what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want. And in doing so, you are connecting to a level of vulnerability.
Yep.
Because in order to do that, you have to be true to, if that is something that you truly want, then you have to be true to yourself to recognize that it is something that you want.
Yeah.
So that comes with vulnerability. And that vulnerability is the strongest part of you at that point? It sounds weird, but it's the truth.
I think we've made most of our breakthroughs in our relationship, you know, between a lot, you know, issues we've had. The best way, or I can say 100% of the time, it was through vulnerability that we were able to see past our issues and work it out.
Mm.
Because once you're vulnerable, you drop vanity, you drop pride, you drop everything that you're that is supporting you. You get what I mean? So you're basically breaking yourself down,
Right.
so that that person can see who you really are. And it's painful because sometimes it's not a pretty picture. Sometimes you've lied to yourself for so long, you don't even know what that looks like yourself.
Right.
So I can tell you that every time we've been able to drop our pride and bite our tongue and be vulnerable with each other, 100% of the time we have been able to fix it. Fix whatever that has been.
Nice. Yeah, that's deep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Anytime.
I don't even want to say anything more for the fear of spoiling it. I'm just going to go to musical therapy. Let me take a break. I'm going to take a break and come back and do musical therapy. Roy, Kat, James, my polyamorous family. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys have yourselves a great night. We will talk.
We better.
Definitely. All right. Take care. Be safe.
Man.
Multimedia Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Polyamorous Media Group.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Hey yo, this is Carman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the Night Shift. Don't move.
First time she blessed my eyes, clean and clean, that the wicked are the need. They make them up to make she creamy. Pretty fresh game, she intrigued me. First time I double like the catcher, the gleam in her eyes got me glued to the spot. Her smile took away my fear, just like a fairy tale from Shakespeare. At first sight was love, real true love, mutual love. She laid back of love to keep her mind at ease. Says she can't take the Google other. Says she wants a real man to love forever. Says she love the lovers rock, yeah, yeah. I know every man cannot try. The special kind of love ain't no one above. Natural beauty, one of a kind, so divine and she's all mine. So I make sure every breath she takes is filled with love. I give thanks and praise to the one above. Say I'm me and the only man where she love. Can the spirits feel it so secure? At first sight was love, real true love, mutual love. She lay back in her arms, close her eyes and start to rock away. She says she loved the love is rock, yeah. Ooh, cool and easy like the summer. Says she loved the love is rock, yeah. Ooh, kind of love to keep her mind at ease. Says she can't take the two together. Says she wants a real man to love forever. Says she loved the love is rock, yeah. Yeah, oh. A lonely life we have until we woke up on this magnificent empress full of joy and happiness. On Valentine's Day she born with Cupid in her mix. Shot one arrow through me heart, couldn't miss. Her aim was perfect from the start. Never free, she would fall in love with me. Top shelf, valley, surely outside Millie. Never did she make me feel inferior. She make me feel superior. She give me everlasting bliss. But she says she loved the lovers rock, yeah. Says she loved the lovers rock, yeah. Says she can't take the Google other.
The sound of Mason the Emperor.
Says she loved the lovers rock.
The track is called Lovers Rock. This is Caitlin Arnold. The track is called At All.
I tried, but it feels like I'm wasting my time. Says that he's losing his mind. Thinks I got things on the side, cause I can't decide if I wanna be tied down. I'm tied up, I'm worn out, tied up, enough now. There's no words, cause I know you too. You don't know me at all.
Such deep words from Kayla Arnold. If you don't love yourself, how can you love someone else? This is Christina Lisa working out with Tasha T. That's the title of it.
This is what we've come to share, make everyone know. We will stand in unity, let Babylon beware. No more will we be used to play the fool and push the toil. We know the strength of harmony, we rise above it all. But you cannot fool no more. This is the song for Ja'ami. This is the song for us. Love is our everlasting key. When I and I rise up, liberation. Love, the cure for every nation. Love, liberation. Build a foundation, give them a head start. Catch a love, we never part. If sure we from the start, them teach we how to love, we conquer all evil thoughts. Liberation, encouragement and inspiration, increasing knowledge and motivation. Protect the new generation, give them love and affection. Liberation, love, the cure for every nation.
Joanna Marie working out with Lisa Danger.
The things your friends are telling you.
That's called Good Love.
You wanna get in the way. It's been 5 years or more since I've been around you. Long time, baby. And I'm trying my best to extend it some more. 'Cause I like the things you do to me, baby. You know I really like it, baby. Why don't you do me, boy, do me some more? promotion all over.
Don't you listen to the things your friends are telling you?
Them warish.
Oh, they only wanna get in our way. It's been 5 years or more since I've been around you.
It goes on.
And I'm trying my best to extend it some more. 'Cause I like the things you do to me, baby.
I want to thank you all for tuning in this week. Thank you for your participation tonight.
Romance really don't make suspense on
I want to encourage you to remember to look out for members of your community, especially in this time of social isolation. The people need you more than ever right now. You don't pass a lot of people on the bus, on the plane, on the boat, on the train right now, but people along the way, they are still your neighbors. You never know who's gonna do something good for you tomorrow. Do something good for somebody today. Stay safe.
I'll be your friend till the end.
Watch those things that you're told to do in the name of safety, public safety. Do your research, ask your questions, and as best as possible, maintain good health, good love, be true to you, love you, and then you can be true to others and love others also. With that, I make my way out. Not quite yet, almost. But I do want to encourage you to do look out for your neighbors. This is Caramanti.
Yeah.
It's a track called Black Love.
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than him. It's bigger than she. Black love is all about unity. It's us.
And what is going on around us right now?
So make we talk for a second about this.
We might need to learn some of this love.
Feel love peaceful and bliss. A black love full of chocolate kiss. Black moments make we reminisce. Light your spliff if you drink, take a sip. Tonight sex enough for we target. 'Cause I've got something better. I swear to God I do. I've got a man that loves me and reads to me too. Him take me on a level, nothing left to do but confess that I love him, and that's the truth. He reads to me, he teaches me, that pleases me. Black love so sweet, he lays with me and plays with me all day with me. Black love in me. Oh, how we connected through time and space. The love strong, stronger than the black race. A pure magic anytime we embrace. Me love your king, I will never embrace. The man go deep, deep in the bookcase. Stroke me body plus me mental space. Spiritually I have to elevate. 'Cause I've got something better. I swear to God I do. I've got a man that loves me and reads to me too. Him take me on a level, nothing left to do but confess that I love him, and that's the truth. He reads to me, he teaches.
As I get out of here,
that please.
I want to encourage y'all to be good.
Love so sweet.
But in the event you can't be good,
With me,
be good at it.
plays with me.
My name is DJ Kevin Stew. This is how I do it to you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to midnight Eastern Time, right here, kevinstew.com. Catch you on Monday.
For them I try. Announce love, but I
You definitely don't want to miss Monday's show at all. Stay tuned for that one.
fight. Before long, one of them take flight. Quit the team, cause the team never tight. Me
We touch on some more about the Rodney Reed case on Monday
life, eh.
from a different angle.
A Caramanti, black love, family.
But until then, I bid you all good morning, good afternoon, good day to wherever you are in the world from right here in sunny South Florida. Well, it's night now, so you're not going to see the sun. Don't worry about it. But I bid you good night. When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.